like usual for these things.
That's the saddest part. This whole weekend, like all my games were the weekend, and not doing any of them.
All right. Hello, everybody. Welcome to Waffle Talk. This is a special show for us because tomorrow is PAX Unplugged, and all of us are going to be there. And so it's kind of a exciting time. And, there's going to be a show, a Dice Camera Action live game tomorrow. Yeah. So, I'm going to be, this will be the first time I've ever seen a Dice Camera Action game live. And tomorrow is also when they're going to be selling their new merchandise. So yes. There is a lot going on right now in the world of Dice Camera Action, and we have a lot to talk about. So if you're in the Twitch chat, any comments you type or will appear on the screen here, and we'll try to address them as we go. So on this episode, we're talking about episode 119. Oh, and Sima, welcome Sima, says last episode was good. I totally agree. Yes. I thought episode 119 was freaking awesome, and 118 was also really awesome. They're on like a huge hot streak. And if I was to give asterisks to the best episodes in the series, I would do both 118 and 119. These two are freaking awesome, and they're the ones where it's like you don't want them to end, or it's just good from start to finish, in my opinion. So, Shauna, can you give like a rundown of what happened?
Oh, right, yeah. A lot happened in this episode. So we find out that the meeting with L'Oreal Silverhand that Diaz had took place at the same time as the end parts of the episode because the Diaz that arrived at the Waffle House was the doppelganger. And so while the group is being ambushed by the Centaurum, the doppelganger and his cohort, that Plurio that pretended to be Paulton, basically tried to rob the house. Diaz is freed by L'Oreal Silverhand and was offered basically an officer's role in the Lord's Alliance and is set free. So at that time, while the doppelgangers are robbing the Waffle House, the remaining Waffle crew, Paulton, Evelyn, and Strix are ambushed by the Centaurum, and it was a pretty vicious fight. Manchun made an appearance and almost got high-level spells. They barely survived. Strix basically teleports them back to the Waffle House, where the two doppelgangers are robbing the house, while the children, the three like, little rapscallions, basically like came very close to the little Home Alone business and with Waffles. So and at that moment, Diaz arrives, confronts the fake Diaz. They fight. They manage to subdue one of them, and that's kind of where we end the episode. And that's going to lead up into probably like not the PAX episode, but the next one after. Mm-hmm. A lot happened. It was a very brief.
Also, we were talking before the show started, and Dylan doesn't drink much, if at all. Neither do I. So if we go somewhere to, I don't know, I might have one drink.
It's sodas.
Yeah, maybe we'll just get sodas.
It's true. Just sodas. Get the fancy fruit beer you can get. That's what you do. That's what I do.
We could get like non-alcoholic alcohol.
Oh, that's no fun. It's just the worst. It's the worst of both. It tastes awful and doesn't get you drunk. So,
Sima says Captain Diaz reporting for duty. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So when Laryl showed up, I pretty much figured that she was gonna hire Diaz because he's a treasure hunter, and there's all this gold that got stolen from Waterdeep that's in a treasure vault somewhere. So it makes perfect sense to hire him. And it's really freaking awesome.
Yeah.
Diaz joining a faction basically.
Yeah.
I mean, it's right out of the adventure.
Yes.
And it opens up all of those little mini quests that each faction has in the actual Dragon Heist adventure. And it's just, I like it just because it's nice to see DF get recognized.
Yeah.
Some amount of authority, and it's going to be able to. It's going to probably be really good because they'll be able to get the guard off their back for certain things. Concerning he's a decently high-ranking officer in there.
It's true.
Somebody said on, I went through the subreddit. Somebody in the subreddit asked an interesting question. Does Captain DF outrank Todd the guard?
Yes, I think he does. Because I think Todd is just like a street level character.
Yeah.
Thank goodness it's not Paulton that has that rank, because that would be really bad for Todd.
And Simus says that this was the big thing on the show. This was the thing I loved about this episode.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Oh my
so
God.
The introduction of probably the best and scariest villain, Manchun. So the group is fighting in Growlhund Villa. They're fighting Zhentarim and guards, and they run into a spellcaster with a robot arm. Now, a little bit of a spoiler. I think Chris said the name though.
Yeah, he did.
In the book, there is a bad guy named Manchun, who's a famous D&D villain. Yeah, right there on Shauna's. Yeah, look at that. That's Manchun. That's the leader of the Zhentarim, or he's got this really
or founder of the Zhentarim.
Yeah. Well, he's technically he's a clone of the founder.
Founder, yeah.
So
yeah.
And Simon says it was the actual simulacrum, not the simulacrum's simulacrum. So the group is in this. This is kind of a crazy thing for Chris to do. He's like, he threw a horde of enemies at the group, a whole bunch of guards, a whole bunch of Zhentarim, at least 4 flying snakes, and Manchun, who himself is a tough villain.
Through
Manchun and Urstel Floxen.
And Urstel Floxen was there too. And
who was embarrassing on the rolls, but he was there.
But but like high level spellcasting, like I've seen the likes of like a Sarek or someone of that degree are frightening, and like throwing out the big spells.
Yeah.
So
Power Word Death.
Howard. Oh my God.
Power Word to Kill. Yeah.
So Manchun is there. Manchun can cast 9th level spells. Manchun has a huge stat block in Dragon Heist. Extremely powerful bad guy. And so now Power Word Kill is a nasty spell because there's no save. I think if you have under 100 hit points, and you just die. You just die. And at that point in the combat, I think most of the group was under 100 hit points. I mean, I think DF Max only has like 66.
I think the only one who could outright survive that, I think, would be Evelyn. I think she's the only one that has above 100
and
fully healed.
And freaking Paulton counterspelled it. Now, counterspell automatically shuts down any spell that's 3rd level or lower. But if it's higher than 3rd, you have to make a roll. And so the DC was what, like a 19, 16,
I don't think
19?
I don't think he said
it was high.
It's
I
high.
think Paulton just rolled incredibly high, I think.
And Paulton made the roll. Paulton counterspelled a Power Word Kill cast by Manchun. I was like,
God bless.
Yeah.
Like that, to me, that was like Nate's finest moment, you know?
Yeah. That could have been, man.
I mean,
and
he
then,
is so...
Who was it targeted on?
Evelyn.
Evelyn, yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
Really? That's not cool, man.
That's not cool. Either that, the only thing is, like, if Evelyn is taken out, it's real bad. Also, if Strix is permanently taken, they have no way to get out of that thing.
Oh, God, yeah.
Recall.
Oh, Simon says that the DC is a 19. 10 plus the spell level.
Yeah.
And Paulton made the roll. It's freaking amazing.
But his Paulton's spellcasting power is pretty high, like so it's
and like counterspell, like I'm just Nate is so on the ball with his character.
And
it's just like my heart swells with pride when I see him like kick butt on Dice Camera Action, you know? It's like,
yeah, did you see that?
This guy is awesome. And the whole group kicked butt too, because after that, Strix turned Manchun into a chicken.
Yep.
Manchun! She turned Manchun into a chicken.
Yeah. So good. So good.
Yep.
Freaking amazing. Oh, let's see. I'm sorry, I can't read the name. It's like bright green.
Dice and dinosaurs.
Dice
and
dinosaurs.
Oh.
Paulton rolled a 22, and then Chris said that counter spell would have countered a level 12 spell. That's right. You're right.
Pretty cool.
Just like, this guy is awesome. You know, because the group would joke about how suboptimal they were, you know, in the olden days, like when they were running around Iron Slag and all that kind of stuff. And they're very, very sharp now.
Yeah, I mean, I think they've kind of followed into like some sort of like strategy where Strix will take care of anything that's big. Paulton kind of like is the tricky one, and then it's just up to Evelyn and Dieth to kind of like carve up things, and then Strix can escape if things get bad. So it's pretty. Their strategy or what they have is actually pretty effective. Things go well.
Strix has a number of go-to spells, right? She got Fireball, Gaseous Form, Word of Recall. She really likes to use. It's funny. She's always ready to bail out on an encounter. I really like.
Yeah, it's a good. I mean, it takes them. It doesn't like. It's better than when she used to run because she can run, but she takes the rest of them with her.
Yeah.
That's how.
They aren't going to be beheaded by Strahd or anything.
No, but the first time she tried to cast it, Manchun actually counterspelled that.
Yep.
Yeah.
And at that moment, Nate was like, well, can I counterspell the counterspell? And that's a thing you can do. There's been, you know, like Jeremy Crawford actually had to clarify that on Twitter a while back. But you can counterspell a counterspell attempt. But Chris ruled that because he couldn't see Manchun that he couldn't do it. But like, I mean, like just Nate saying that was like, they're not suboptimal anymore.
Yeah,
definitely not. They all. I know Evelyn had some problems with her AC, but that's because of D&D Beyond. Because it's weird when you use that thing, you have to activate your armor. So she just set it up a couple weeks ago. You don't know unless you scour over. And she's got the house ruled bracers also.
Yeah.
So who cares? No big deal. She fixed it.
Yeah.
I'm running behind here. Let's see. Dice and dinosaurs, or maybe it was 11. Not sure. Either way, a spell that is higher. Yeah. It was 12. Yeah, Simon says it was 12. Yeah. Dan is a nerd. It's so odd to watch old episodes now, as Nate's much. I could not agree more, Dan. Not that Nate was bad, but he understands his character's capabilities now, and he's mastered his character, I think, and he's got it all loaded in his brain, and it's a joy to watch. What an awesome, fun player he is. It's just like it's awesome to see him. I every time he does something good, like I love it, and they all do. And I know that Dieth has said he gets a little down because he feels like the group is more powerful than him, but he doesn't use his sneak attack much. And I think if he busts out Gutter and he attacks the same target that Evelyn is fighting, he will do so much damage.
Yeah,
it will be insane.
But I think the way that he built Dieth to be like the skilled person, like the archetype they put isn't necessarily the most combat thing, but like it's when it comes to like skill checks, that the way his build is super effective at it's
Oh, Ramrod's in the chat.
Hey.
Yeah.
Ramrod, I will see you tomorrow.
God, that's weird to say, isn't it?
How weird is that? We've all played D&D and done these things online. We've never met each other in real life, so it's going to be really weird,
Also, going back to like Manchun being introduced this episode, like in person, like Chris has done a remarkably good job introducing the villains. From the Xanathar robbing the Spires of the Morning to Jarlaxle just sort of appearing in the cell behind Dieth and being very iffy about his reasons for being there, whether he's a bad guy or a good guy. And then Manchun just showing up with this crazy ambush, invisibly popping up,
Yeah. And that was...
It's really good at showing them off as villains.
Yeah, it's definitely shows how dangerous that character is, because just like that was a decently quick fight, but it was pretty brutal. Like Strix like went down like that first round, right? Like they just sent everything at
Yeah.
Strix.
It's Strix.
Yeah.
And it was cool about the D&D Beyond overlays. You can see how many hit points she has left, and it's like it's
Yeah.
alarming. She's
It's like
down to
red,
3 hit
red.
points, and you're like, oh, this is bad.
Uh-oh.
I think she went
Yeah.
down twice,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and the bad guys tried to drag her away, which is
Gotta take her staff.
those are the things. That's one of the things I like the most about Chris's games, is that the bad guys don't just attack until you're dead. They do things like according to their motivate. Like the bad guys dragged her away. They didn't kill her; they took her away, and like that changes an encounter because everybody freaks out. They're taking Strix. We have to stop them. So now, not only are you fighting these bad guys, you have to wade through them to save your friend. And I think that's like a much more interesting encounter than just she's down, she's lying there, and she's making death saves.
Because it definitely it made like Anna just rush Evelyn into there, just
and just willingly took opportunity attacks.
Opportunity attacks from like 8 dudes.
Yeah.
How come Evelyn doesn't have plate mail? Does anybody know?
I don't actually.
They don't have the money, right? Isn't plate
they don't have the money? Yeah, I think that's it. They don't have the money.
Really?
Plate costs like 8,000 gold or something.
Yeah.
Oh Lord.
Yeah.
That's ridiculous. Holy crap.
I think if you have plate and a shield, your AC is at 20.
Yeah.
And she's 11th level. So it's like, I was like, wow, she doesn't have plate mail. And it's like, has the group ever had 8,000 gold? I don't think so.
Somebody send her like a plate mail gift set or something.
Yeah. I mean, they thought that like 500 was a lot, like a little while ago, so they probably don't have much.
500 was a lot. Like, it's like, I'm surprised they've never killed somebody wearing plate mail that she could have just taken and had repurposed. It's just like, I was kind of like, I don't know why I never realized that before, but it's like, gosh, she should. You would think that the Church of Lathander would just give her a suit.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, just give her. You have a statue. There's a statue.
Yeah.
Give her stuff.
Or like armor instead, please.
Yeah.
Like she could do it. Just, you know what? She could just take a collection at the church. Just take donations. For
your friendly neighborhood paladins.
Yeah.
Set of armor.
The Evelyn plate mail fund.
Or 1,500.
Let's see. Simon, I
That's
think
still a
Nate
lot.
has the most understanding of his abilities at this point in the series with the Evil Eye Curse combo, the cutting words to stay alive during the Xanathar fight, the mislead plays with Cassandra and the counterspell today. What a bard. He's very he is, because like when you think of a bard, I don't know, you don't really think of someone who's that good in dangerous situations, really, as far as combat goes. But he's been supremely effective.
Yeah, Chris has been targeting like Paulton a lot more this season, like than the previous one. So it's like it's partially like he has to be on his game because he's been sending enemies at him regularly.
I mean, if Ursula Floxen had hit with his assassinate on the first round, Paulton might have been down too on the first round, which would have been
like the difference between like Evelyn and Strix and Paulton is like substantial as far as like hit points. Like it's like 40 points.
One thing I missed, was Simon part of that fight?
He was there. Yeah,
he was there.
Okay,
he shot one dude, right?
He did.
Yeah.
And did Andrew use the gun, or did Andrew just chase
Andrew
that guy?
ripped some dude's face off, I think.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah. It was. Yeah, that was terrifying.
I don't want to go off on a tangent, but have any of you seen the movie Phantasm?
Yes, actually.
I just saw it the other day. What a weird movie that is. I like it, but it was like, what is this? But it reminds me of The Hand for some, I don't know why. Oh, because the guy's finger gets cut off.
Yeah.
All right. Let's see, Castleman. Hey, Castleman, how you doing? Plate. Oh, Ramrod says that plate is 1,500 gold. Yeah, okay. They got to get Evelyn a suit of plate mail then. Come on.
Yeah.
They must have 1,500 gold, or they can get it, right? Come on.
maybe that position that Diaz has will give him a little bit of money. Who knows?
You know what? Paulton could do some concerts to raise money for the plate mail. There you go.
Yep.
Did you notice in this fight that there was a moment where Paulton was fighting a dude and Evelyn was in trouble? She had like 3 enemies on her. And he had to choose between thunder waving his enemy, who was directly threatening him, and the ones fighting Evelyn. And he went for the ones fighting Evelyn. How about that?
Yeah.
He was in danger, but he's more concerned about his friend, acquaintance, fellow adventurer. You know.
I mean,
I love that the Todd stuff is
affecting him.
Yeah.
It provokes him. I get a real kick out of that. The Mayloon and the Todd stuff.
True.
All right. To be fair, Dyson Dinosaur says, to be fair, Father Sunbright was probably really stingy with giving away stuff. That guy is a dick. Yeah, he was. He was.
It's true. They were spending all the money for the restoring the temple, right? So
he was dropping F-bombs in the church, which is
not
right.
Oh,
not right. There's no room for that.
I don't know how Lathander feels about that.
The sun, if it had a happy face, would turn to a frowny face. You know? It's not right. There's clouds coming in over that. Castlemark, do they start their characters at level 1 again? I've never watched. Oh, phew. Well, no, they started at level 1 on episode 1, and now they're level 11, right?
I thought they were
12.
Are they 12? I don't remember, actually.
I don't know. Yeah, check the thing. Shoot.
Something around there.
11, 12, yeah.
So around every 10 episodes they level, I guess.
Yeah. So instead of starting a new module with new characters, Chris has just sort of bumped it up for him.
Okay, they're 11.
Yeah.
They're 11. Yeah, and it's so we're maybe halfway through the series if we go all the way to 20. Yeah. And you know, if they, and that's a good question. If they all die, do they make new characters at level 1? I don't know.
I mean,
they almost all died once.
Yeah.
It's true. I feel like with the show, Chris would probably find some way to, depending on whether the players wanted to continue with their characters or if they wanted to make new characters, of course. Like, if Evelyn died, God forbid, and Anna wanted to do a new character, I'm sure Chris would go, okay, make another level 11 character, and we'll introduce him into the story somehow. Because, I mean, that's what he did with his home campaign. But if everyone died or something like that, I think Chris would probably find a way to get them all back on their feet, as a party. So he'd come up with some adventure like, oh, you have to go, you're in the underworld, you gotta do this and that, and come back to life. You know?
Yeah, I think you said before that it would be dependent if the players really want to stay with, this party. I mean, they would probably have some sort of the characters would be in trouble, but not necessarily and permanently dead.
That's true. And I mean, the whole thing with Strix being dragged away this episode, I think shows Chris's, willingness not to just kill the party, but to put them in terrible, terrible situations instead.
Yeah.
Okay, so if you remember back in the Barovia time travel episodes,
yes,
the whole group died except for Strix.
If
Strix had died, also, should the show have ended?
I think it would have ended up decently the same. I think it probably would have had that same endpoint. They probably would have been raised. But it's interesting that one of them is still left alive. But yeah, I think they probably would have had to be brought back anyways at some point.
I kind of feel like if the group gets into an encounter and they all just end up dying, I think that probably should be the end.
It depends. Because I know that, just from personal experience, characters all dying in a fight that's just kind of, it's not versus a main villain or anything. It kind of feels anticlimactic.
Yeah,
so it's
I've seen tough campaigns that are streamed that were not the entire party dies, but characters consistently die. And it is it's it's kind of like dramatic, but after a little while, it does take the momentum a little out of it because it's hard to like get that sort of investment back again.
True.
All right, let me catch up on the chat here. Ramrod is boarding flight 1. All right, yeah, see you tomorrow. Have a good flight.
Flight.
It's gonna be weird, man. Can't wait.
You're gonna be so tough.
Can't wait. I get to meet Lindy also. That's gonna be really cool. Castle Mac. Yep. Yeah, you should definitely check out episodes 1 through 10 are a little shaky just because they were getting the technical issues straight and the group chemistry. It took a while for the group like episode 1 is really fun and zany, but then I don't know what happened. Episode 2 through 7 or 8 was a little more subdued. I'm not sure why.
Yeah.
But then they kind of from there
it's interesting just to see where those characters start off at, like what the initial like relationship between like Evelyn and Strix is like way different than how it is now, and that's it's a lot of growth that kind of happened over those 100 so episodes. That's super clear when you watch it again.
In episode 1, you get to see the birth of the name Waffle Crew.
Waffle, yeah.
You never make a joke about a
right off the bat
team name.
It didn't take long. Dan is a nerd. Andrew's scared a guy that realized his greatest fear was disembodied him.
I mean,
that's right.
When you see your buddy get like their face ripped off and you're afraid of hands, that's a rough time. That is.
Also, I want to say in Phantasm, there's these floating balls.
The balls,
Or spheres that like drill into your face.
Mm-hmm.
And like as soon as I saw it, I'm like, well, that's going in one of my campaigns, you know?
Oh god.
Oh, no. God.
There's another one in another Phantasm. It turns out if you open the ball, there's a brain in there. So
cool.
It just gets weirder and weirder.
That's right.
I don't want to spoil.
All right.
Let's see. Paulton's true feelings towards Evelyn always shine through best in the fight scenes. Yeah, I guess. Well, yeah, I mean, especially in that one episode where he had to go save her when she was about to be eaten by the soulmonger. Still probably my favorite episode of the whole series.
Oh yeah.
And he rolls to 20. That was good.
Those episodes around that like I've mentioned before, that's when I started watching the series because I like it was so freaking awesome. Just all the stuff happening right after one after another, you know.
Yeah, there was definitely a change between like the pre-50 and the post. Like that seemed to be like a sea change for like the trajectory of the show. After a while, like it started like getting like more and more people watching after that.
Yeah. It's still it's still growing. It's like there's no end in sight.
Yeah.
And I love watching that. Like I guess tomorrow's going to be in a bigger theater, the live show than the last one.
Yeah.
So, and Evelyn is going to be on the Acquisitions Inc. game also. So that's going to be awesome.
It's going to be awesome, like seeing like her like with Omen, like interact. Considering Omen's a little bit broken now. Considering like the pre-PAX episode that they released.
Yeah.
I only watched a bit of it. I didn't watch the whole thing yet.
Dude, like took a little bit of time to like sob. Just so like poor guy.
Wow.
Well, maybe.
Wow. I want to see what Evelyn thinks of Jim Dark Magic.
Oh my god.
Because he's uncouth. Yeah.
Will Viari try to hit on her? That's the question.
Or maybe it's like Omen, just like you don't.
Or Omen might stop him.
Omen's like you don't speak to her. You're on thin ice.
They might end up fighting over her.
Oh god.
I don't want to see Jim Dark Magic or like any of those like. Because I think Omen can shut down VR pretty quickly.
It's true.
Probably not shut down Jim Dark Magic as quickly.
That's gonna. I bet that's gonna be awesome.
That would make Strix so mad if like. Jim just like hitting on her friend. It's like, no, don't talk to this person.
God.
That is going to be awesome to see Evelyn with the Acquisitions Inc. group. That's going to be really good.
God.
Yeah.
She's awesome. It's going to be great. Dice and Dinosaurs. Underworld campaign would be awesome. Chris would have a field day. Yeah, he would. I know Monty Cook ran this huge Underdark campaign a long time ago. That he would write about online sometimes, and he had all these cool ideas. Like, cause to me, I don't know, I'm not that into the Underdark, but the stuff he came up with was like, okay, this is cool. Plus, you can dig up all that Gary Gygax Vault of the Drow stuff. Which
Yeah.
there's a lot of good stuff, like the Greyhawk, Errol Hay, Sinlu, that city of Drow. There are so many cool ideas in there that you could use. Like there's these big chariots with spider legs that have ballistas mounted on them, and you control them with a ring. So there's Drow just patrolling the city in those things. That is so cool. And there's like crawl chests, like chests with spider legs. You keep your stuff in them, and they can come with you. All sorts of really cool stuff like that. It's like, oh.
I think one of the biggest hurdles for something like that is moving away from the idea that the Underdark is just a bunch of caves, which I know it was always hard for me to think about it that way. But like, I think thinking about Kyber and Eberron, which is like the Underdark sort of thing, and Keith Baker talking about how the farther you go down, suddenly you're going into like demi-planes and these weird vaults that have been like terraformed by monsters and stuff. So there's like, oh, you're in actual hell now. Congratulations. Stuff like that.
The thing I think that helped me understand the original appeal of the Underdark was there's this old movie, Journey to the Center of the Earth. It's old, and there's a guy who sings in it, and it's really weird, but I get the feeling that that was kind of the original impetus for the Underdark, was that because it's just an expedition to the center of the earth, and it's really cool. And a lot of the dangers aren't monsters; it's just caves and collapses and weird ledges and getting split up. But at the end there is this giant lizard, and I think it's like a movie from the '60s, and considering that, the effects are pretty good. It's obviously just a lizard.
You glue stuff onto a lizard, and it's like
I guess you make like a model play set of a cave and put your lizard in it, and then you film it and
slow it down. Here we go. You got giant lizard.
But it was a fun movie aside from the singing. I think the guy was Pat Boone was in that movie. Erica, like when they were beheaded, yes, yeah, that's the time where it's like, should the campaign end? That instance to me seemed almost like a hit from Chris. Like that was gonna happen unless the group could think of a way out. Like, so I'm just wondering, like, if the group just ends up in a situation where they all die just from their choices and the dice rolls combined, then for me, I think I would want the show to end, just to show that dice rolls matter, everything, the whole thing matters. Although, I don't know, maybe not. I guess it depends on the situation, but
yeah,
it's got to be dramatic.
I can actually think in Chris's Iamandra campaign from 4th edition, one of his, I think it was like his Wednesday group or something, because he had 2 groups that were playing through it. They decided to like blow up Vecna in his castle, and it killed all of them. And Chris was like, I still have all these session notes, but that's a freaking awesome way to end a campaign. So they did.
Yeah, it's kind of to feel right for that thing to end, I think.
Let's see. Sima, well, if that power word kill would have not been countered, Evelyn would have been insta-killed again.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And the church is not in position to bring her back also that time.
Like, it's weird. Okay. It's weird. The heroes die fairly regularly on this show. And now it's getting to the point where, I mean, Evelyn died, right? She got turned to stone.
Yeah.
By the Xanathar. That wasn't too long ago. And it's like she almost died again.
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't too long before Evelyn was killed that Paulton was disintegrated.
Is that just going to be a thing on this show where every few episodes somebody dies and gets raised?
Possible. I think since the Forgotten Realms are so high magic sort of thing, it makes it more understandable, I guess, than some settings. So
yeah, I think it's also the fact they're in Waterdeep and not like they're not in Barovia, they're not in Chult, and they're not in the north, like isolated. Like they can do that.
These people are actually here.
Ericol says that Molly Mock's death in CR was jarring. That's early on in the series that Molly Mock died, right?
Yep.
Yeah. And that was that good or bad? Would you say?
I think it was okay because it was so early. It was early enough where you can kind of do that. Although it's like there's still like people don't necessarily like have the best handle on that happening. Like people are like I get very upset about it, and it's.
I like it because it sets the tone and reminds the viewer that you can die and the dice rolls matter, everything matters. I think you should have a sense of danger in the game.
Oh, definitely.
Or as a player, for me, as a player, it gets dull when I realize that no matter what I do, I'm not going to die. I want there to be a chance of me dying.
Yeah. As far as I know, that was the only time where they killed someone that wasn't like a character that wasn't brought back eventually, like soon after. I think a lot of them have died, but not enough where like someone re-rolled the character and has basically continued on like episodes later. So it's unusual.
Let's see. Dyson Dinosaurs. That was crazy. Yeah, Molly Mock dying was a big thing. The internet blew up when that happened on my Twitter anyway. Dan is a nerd. Also, Chris, please don't let that become your name comment on that first episode. Yeah, I love that.
I remember Anna, when she was on here, she said something about Chris talking to them beforehand about something with like keys being in their name. That totally didn't happen.
That did not. Yeah.
Oh, really? Oh.
Yeah, she said something about that.
Keys. Really?
Yeah, there are keys.
Yeah. I remember her saying that, so I don't know.
Why? Hey, if we see Anna this weekend, like at the merch table, we could ask her. Because
Q&A. Who knows?
They're going to sell stuff at the merch table. I think tomorrow from noon to 3. I think. I don't know if I'm going to make it. My train doesn't get there till 1, but I'll try. Ericol. Hollow World was based on Journey to the Center of the Earth. Let me tell you about Hollow World, my friend. My brother bought that box. That's an old box set for the basic D&D game, where there's the known world, Mystara, but then on the inside there's the Hollow World. There's a world inside the world, and that's a whole different campaign setting. And my brother bought it, and he was going to run it, but my brother was very fickle, and so he never ran it. And eventually, in 2004, I decided to try to run a campaign incorporating the Hollow World stuff, and it was the worst campaign I ever ran, ever. And I actually emailed the author of the Trilogy of Adventures, a guy, Alan Varney, who wrote freaking 5 Coins for a Kingdom, one of my favorite D&D adventures. Freaking insane. I love that thing. There's this miles-long chain, and there's these armies fighting on them, and you're flying around on huge fish, and to get them to move, you like stomp on their eyelids. It's crazy, and it's awesome. And I asked him, I'm like, I really liked the second adventure in the trilogy. And he just said something like, I was really burned out at the time I wrote those. I was like, oh, okay. Well, but even burned out, the guy came out with some awesome stuff. Like, there's like a scene where you're in a boat that's got wings on it, and there's these mirrors next to you. It's freaking crazy. The guy is awesome. Anyway, so Hollow World, Hollow World is cool. It seems that's one of those settings that nobody really touched, because people just don't have time. It takes so, like, in life, I have been waiting 20 years to run Labyrinth of Madness, the Monty Cook high-level Monty Cook venture. I tried to run it once, and my group was just bailed out on it, the whole thing, about 3 rooms in, because it's like a level 20 dungeon, and it's insane. I can tell you one thing, that there's trolls that hold poles that have globes in them, and in each globe is a black ooze, and they like smash them on you, and it's just like, this adventure is freaking awesome. So I've been waiting, and I hopefully within a year or 2 I'll get to run it, convert it to 5e, because I'm getting all these groups and all their characters are getting high level, so we can smush a bunch of them into the Labyrinth of Madness. All right, sorry for the tangent. Dice and Dinosaurs. If there was a TPK, I would really like it if they just made new characters and continued on. Maybe a whole new adventure. Yeah, it would be sad to see these characters go. But you know what? 119 episodes is a ton.
True.
I think Critical Role went 100 something. How many did that go? 100?
I don't know.
104? Something like that.
But that was a planned end sort of thing too. So yeah.
But I if they all died, yeah, I don't know. I would be sad, but I wouldn't mind seeing them make new characters. It's weird seeing them run other characters, though. Definitely. Strange.
Yeah.
It's very strange. Like when they go on some other show and they make a different character, like Nate on Dark and Dicey,
or Anna on Birdcage. Very
Anna
different
on
character.
Birdcage, totally different.
Very, very different character.
Totally different. Yeah, it's weird. I haven't seen Jared run another character, so I don't know. He should be on more shows.
Like the one thing about this episode, it's the good highlight for like how good Jared is, because the stuff about last episode ended up being true. Like people were very sharp and they figured out like how it's a testament how consistently he plays DF that people were like, something seems off. Like it wasn't
DF.
It was subtle enough where it's like it wasn't obvious that it wasn't DF.
Yeah, it's true.
But you just kind of get a sense that something is off. And I like him when he plays like sinister characters. He's very good at them, like playing that doppelganger.
He did. He was very subtle about it, but people picked up on it. And what's interesting is people guessed a lot of different things, but I don't think anybody guessed exactly what Chris ended up doing. Because I thought that Laryl was somebody in disguise, but apparently she was Laryl.
Laryl Silverhand.
Yeah.
And you know, because in the Dragon Heist book, there's actually a scenario very similar to this involving Manchun, but this was different. This was, I think he was a doppelganger, right? So it was a different thing. So it's like Chris like took the thing, but he put his own little spin on it. So it was cool. It's fun to try to guess. It's hard to guess, you know. I like. And
from the sounds of it, the doppelgangers went there to find the Stone of Galore, right?
Yeah, they were looking for that, but they sent it for money.
So that's also interesting that they thought the party might have it at all.
Saima, there are a lot of resurrection spells, so death isn't really that scary for high-level characters. That's what made the Soulmonger so scary. Agree.
Yeah, there are a couple of bad things at higher level where stuff just eats your soul, and it's like that's it.
Oh, yeah.
Saima says that Caduceus Clay is one of the best characters ever, so I didn't mind Molly Mock's death too much. I think like it happened early in the series, so I think that's a good time for it to happen. People couldn't get that attached, and the new one can kind of grow on you over time. Dice and Dinosaurs. In reference to DS, now this is weird. So if Chris said, I want you to try your group name, try to use the word keys in it, does that mean that he'd been thinking about Diat's keys from before episode 1?
Yeah, because that was in Diat's original descriptions that his trinket was the keys from the start. So
yeah. So Chris might have had that idea before the show even started.
Very possible.
And maybe that means that the keys are somehow tied to, because at Wizards they plan their material years ahead.
Yeah.
So they might have been planning a product that still hasn't come out yet that might be involved with Diat's keys in some way. Like if they are planning on making like a Planescape Sigil adventure or product, then that's all about keys and portals and stuff and portal keys.
Yeah.
So maybe that's kind of like years and years of foresight,
Yeah.
He might have been planting seeds for stuff that he knew wasn't going to come into play for 3-4 years of real life time.
Yeah.
Which is pretty freaking crazy.
And him sprinkling in stuff like the Skizix Lorkatha conflict and Shemeshka and stuff, I think really kind of nudges you that way, that he might know what's coming and be planting seeds already for something that might happen, a year or two from now, maybe.
Let's see. Saima. Damn Hollow Earthers, back at it again. Yes. Where's the curve? Dice and Dinosaurs. That's very true. It's very weird. Oh, okay, yeah. And Sima, I love Nate playing Mason on Birdcage. That was amazing. I don't think I saw those, the Nate episodes.
Yeah.
Dice and Dinosaurs. I know Jarrett doesn't like chaotic evil player characters, but I think he would be amazing at playing one. Well, we did see it a little bit when he got to play the evil Diath.
Yeah.
With evil Evelyn. Their vile, depraved, adventuring style. Which I loved. I could not get enough of it. And I really hope we see it again someday. Evil Diath. I love Evil Diath.
Yeah. I mean, if they were to retire like these, you know what, the three kids that they play in this episode, they're very good at them.
It's true.
Yeah.
Like this episode was, I think, logistically was a difficult one. Like Chris did an incredible job, like mixing DF stuff, the fight with the Zentarum, and then the Doppelganger stuff, where the other three had to play their kid character at the same time, and like kind of interspersed between those things and switch back and forth, and they did really good. It was really impressive how that whole thing went down.
It really was.
It was sort of like he just followed the initiative order, and I guess he would jump back, sort of, from that. It was definitely unwieldy, but he did it was awesome. I mean, especially because the events in Troll Skull Manor were very chaotic. You've got fake Diath and fake Paulton and the kids and Waffles.
Yep.
The only thing I was hoping for was that Warrington Munt would show up and blow them away, but
the house almost exploded anyway, so we got close.
I was actually surprised at the end that Big Arrow came through. Who I know who it belongs to.
Yeah.
But it's Ziraj the Hunters.
Oh.
The Zentarum dude who a way back, the kids told him that he had met with Fala and was watching the house.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So they've been watched for ever, for a while.
But he saved them, evidently. So
unless you didn't know that wasn't Paulton, so who knows?
That's true.
Who knows?
Miscommunication.
So Ziraj the Hunter is watching them. Why?
Oh boy.
I mean, I'm getting the hint that maybe the Zentarum isn't as united as you think it is. I think there may be Manchun's group and the ones that are more what's the current Zentarum is rather than the old Zentarum.
Less dominate and tyrannical rule, more just sort of corrupt and mafia-like.
Yeah, because there's others that he's the the original leader, but is he necessarily the big leader of the Zents, the faction?
Oh gosh, I don't know who the big leader of the Zentarum is right now, because this Manchun, after Manchun died, a dude named Fazul Shimbrel, who was a high priest of Bane or something, took over. He got incinerated or something by Bane, and Manchun's clones spread out everywhere. And I think they were all planning on trying to take the Zentarum back over, but they kind of murdered each other. So
yeah.
I don't know who's really
because I know
in charge
with the faction thing, that for the PCs for the AL, there was a leader, the faction leader, and I wonder if that person's actually the leader, or are they kind of a figurehead for Manchun.
Dyson Dinosaur says that he probably did it. Ziraj probably did it to silence the doppelganger so it wouldn't get back to them.
That's actually a good point.
Yeah.
So maybe he saw that it wasn't going well. He wanted to just kill him so he couldn't talk. Maybe. And Simon says that's a subplot in Dragon Heist, right? One of the Doom Rangers is in charge of taking care of Zents unloyal to Manchun. Ah.
Freaking Doom Raiders.
The Doom Raiders.
That's such a great name.
It is. What? Why are they raiding Doom?
I don't know.
Should just leave Doom alone. Also, I missed a couple people like the awful crew.
They do.
Evil Diaz might have been bad, but damn it if he didn't rock the best outfit of the series. Evil Diaz doesn't care. Evil Diaz takes what he wants. You know what I mean? It's good. And I think we're going to see at the very least Evil Evelyn again.
Yeah.
Because I'm pretty sure one of the levels in Mad Mage connects with that whole story about the cult of Shar and all that stuff.
Yeah.
So Chris planting seeds like a year in advance. Yeah, it's cool. It's really fun. And I think that would make a rewatch of the series. I couldn't imagine rewatching this whole show, but
oh god,
yeah,
but
yeah,
you'd probably pick up on all sorts of weird little things.
Yeah,
you really would.
Sometimes I read about people who have decided they're going to catch up. Like they didn't watch Dice Camera Action, and they decide they're going to start at the beginning. And some people will say like, it took me a month, but I'm all the way. And it's like, man, you watched 119 episodes.
Or
it's amazing.
You listen to it. They do have those podcasts, and it makes it a lot easier to listen to those. Like if you, because I have a couple friends that are doing that, and it's a good like a commute show if you have a long commute.
Okay. And some people have jobs where they can listen to stuff.
Listen to podcasts. Yeah,
that's fine.
Back when I worked at the movie theater, I could do that too. So I listened to a lot of podcasts. So I guess if these were around then, I would be even more caught up than I am. I caught up. Oh, Simon, I caught up when they hit episode 100 in the summer vacation.
Nice.
Oh,
yeah,
that'll do it. Yeah, I guess you could do a lot of things while you listen. So yeah, we got about 10 minutes.
Simon also brings up that dooms are the nickname for lich layers, which actually there's a couple layers in Undermountain which are called dooms, and I didn't even think of that. That's a good point. So evidently they were raiding lich layers.
Huh.
All right.
Really?
Cool.
Really?
Awesome.
Those Doom Raiders were. They're not that high level, are they?
No.
Probably
abandoned lich layers or something.
All right. So let's see. What do we got here? Strix. Oh. When I was going through the subreddit, I was thinking about character deaths. The group, many members of the group have died multiple times. Like Diaz famously died pretty early on in the show. Strix has only died once to a vampire spawn in the Amber Temple. It's the only time. So this episode where she came close to going down felt really weird because Strix doesn't really go down.
Strix has survival instinct, intense survival instincts.
Yeah, once she assumes gaseous form, it's like, well, she's or she'll just, and then Nate has Dimension Door, so that also gets them out of a lot of jams as well. This group is very keen on avoiding danger rather than confronting it.
I mean, they come from the Curse of Strahd campaign, so I guess that would be natural.
It's kind of weird. If Strix's word of recall had worked, then the whole episode would have been different, and I think it would have been worse.
They know where they live, so it's not like, oh no, they know where they live.
It's true.
It's true.
That's not great.
Actually, that's true.
I mean, Growlin is only like 2 blocks away, right?
Like, that's true.
They just walk over there.
I mean, there's still time for them to walk over there. It's like they were only at the back at the Waffle House for like a few minutes, so it's just like
it's very true.
You're right. Actually, they would have word of recalled, and they would have just went, and they would have like hung out for a minute, and then kaboom, Manshoon, Urstal Floxen, 4 flying snakes, and a whole bunch of guards and thugs would have busted into the manor.
My God.
And it would have continued. You're right.
Yeah, but then they have Diaz and they have Waffle, so that's a little.
True. They would have had more people with them.
Well, they would have had Doppelganger Diaz.
Oh,
but yeah,
waiting through that, trying to find stuff.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Strix is gonna be upset once they have like downtime. That Doppelganger is like, I think, not gonna survive.
So the PAX schedule.
Yes.
So the merchandise booth is in Brandland, which I guess is a section in the convention center. So I have been told, people have told me this, the PAX Unplugged is all about long lines.
It's not as bad as regular PAX. Regular PAX is way more people. This is going to be a way more chill. So
Really?
there's a little bit of line, but not as much. I don't think it's as bad.
So, I assume there will be line for the Waffle Crew table where the merchandise is sold.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're going, be ready for that. I think they said it was from 12 to 3. That might change.
He also said that the merch is limited, so
yeah, it's limited.
if you can get it, get it.
You better get in there. And then the game. So tomorrow night, 8:30 p.m. Eastern Time, Satine Phoenix is actually going to run a fireside episode, which I guess will be similar to that Zopa episode run by Mark Humes.
Where... The Chris information extraction episode for possible like torment part 2 or 3, depending.
Oh man.
And I think actually Chris posted the schedule for December, and I think they're going to miss 2 weeks because of the holidays.
Yep.
So, but they actually sometimes do more than one episode a week.
Yeah.
So it's not like harmful.
From the looks of it, next Tuesday we have another episode. And they're off. Then we have another episode, and then they're off
again. Yeah.
So which actually isn't bad. We have like 3 episodes.
Yeah.
Within like a week.
Yeah, that's intense.
Pretty impressive.
It's like this one, the PAX one, and then like 2 days later, 2 or 3 days later. Yeah. Oof.
Yeah.
Dyson Dinosaurs. I'm not crazy, right? Satine played a Dryad in DCA once. Yes.
Yep.
She died.
Yep,
I
that
think.
one died.
Yeah.
Yep.
She had a tree, and giants showed up and attacked.
And
she Simon, she died in like 20 minutes. It was something
like
that.
It was something. Forget about that.
So yeah, that'll be tomorrow night. Will be the Satine thing. So there'll probably be a line for that too. Is that the deal?
Yes, there'll definitely be a line for that.
So I should get there at what, 7:30, 6:30?
I would just keep an eye. If people start getting lined up, I would line up there.
Okay.
Like just mosey on past the
just
theater,
kind of like just
6:30.
gauge. Like you don't need it's probably gonna be a decently big theater, so like you can kind of gauge. Unless you want like real good seats, like real good seats, it would probably do it to like. I think last year the line started a little bit before like an hour.
Okay.
All right.
Noted.
And then Saturday, 4 to 5 p.m. There's going to be a Waffle Crew Q&A session. Are either of you going to that thing?
Yep, I'm going to go there.
No.
Let's see what it's like.
I don't know if I'm going to go or not. I guess I should go, right?
Yeah,
I mean, we might learn something interesting. I don't know.
Yeah.
Does anybody have any questions? That's the thing.
I don't have a question. I
don't know that I do.
Yeah.
I'm sure somebody in my group will, but not me.
Yeah.
I just like listening to them bullshit, honestly.
Yeah. Is it going to be aired or anything?
I don't think. I would veer on say it's probably not going to. They've tried, I think. But I think the last Q&A at PAX they did, but it's never a sure thing.
Okay.
Are you allowed to record it?
I mean, they record it. I don't.
Oh, they record it.
Yeah, I think if you record it, the sound quality.
Like if I brought my audio recorder thing,
it's not gonna pick up anything because like you need to have it like right there to like be able to get them have them hooked up.
And then Saturday night at 8:30 to 11:30 is the Acquisitions Inc. game. So the deal with that, I think we mentioned it at the beginning, but so Chris has been running Acquisitions Inc. for what, 11 years?
11 years.
11 years.
Started as a podcast, and then it kind of grew into this thing. So it was kind of one of the. It was way ahead of the streaming thing.
The thing. All that time back that got me to D&D, like was the first thing.
Same, yeah.
So Chris has been running it with that group for a very long time.
Yeah,
and it's grown, and now they do these huge live shows, which are very popular. And Chris is not running them anymore. So tomorrow will be the new DM is taking over.
Yes,
the new DM is Jeremy Crawford, who is the rules guy of D&D. He is the guy at Wizards of the Coast who is in charge of rules and rulings. And a lot of times you'll see him on Twitter when people have some rules question. He's the one who gives you the answer. And So it's going to be really weird because he's, every DM is different. So now you have this new style coming in.
Yeah.
To, a game that, the thing I do like about it is I'm real interested to see, because, I'm not like a rulesy guy, but some people are. And so Jeremy Crawford is really, he knows the rules. He knows the rules better than anybody on the planet, right? I assume, right? He's the authority on the D&D rules. So I bet every time they play, he's going to make rulings that are like, oh, I didn't know that, Because, I mean, even he had mentioned on one of the shows on the D&D channel a week or two ago that he was watching the Dice Camera Action live show, like the last one, and he noted that they were messing up rules left and right, and he didn't care because it's just D&D.
Yeah.
But one of the I don't remember the exact rule he said, but it was like, I had no idea that they did that wrong. It was like, you can't target them because they're undead with some power, and I'm like, whoa, And so then it was like, now I hear this, and it's like, ooh, we're gonna see all sorts of weird stuff now. So in that sense, like, I'm really interested. And also, I kind of think that if you have Jim Darkmagic and Omen and Viari and now Evelyn at the table, it kind of doesn't matter who the DM is to a degree.
It's true.
But I'm pretty sure Jeremy Crawford does or did actually DM for Chris Perkins. They had this home game. And Jeremy has made some comments about his home game where he has said, this is crazy to me. He said that if he's running a session and it feels like the group's not into it, he will just immediately chuck everything he prepared and go with whatever grabs them. And I'm like, dude, that's so terrifying just reading that on a piece of paper, So
yeah.
I'm like, wow. So, and he runs for Chris Perkins. So
it's like, let's just improv this entire thing. Let's at the mercy of your players.
So we're gonna so it'll be very, very interesting to see.
Yeah.
What the game is like when Jeremy Crawford runs it.
Yeah, it's definitely for that YouTube. It was slightly jarring, like having that change. Just like the difference in like kind of like DM voice.
Yeah.
Very, very different.
Yeah. Oh, Dice and Dinosaurs. I remember that quote. I thought that was really cool. That was that Strahd can't be targeted with hold person.
It's not person. Yeah. Once.
That's crazy, right? Wow.
That's
so we're gonna see all sorts of weird stuff like that. I don't think I would have caught that. I don't. As a DM, hold person.
I mean, it's one of those things where like the description of the spell says humanoid, but you look at a vampire and you're like, they're humanoid. So yeah, but it means humanoid in the case of creature like identification, and it can be weird in that way.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah. Thank you both for doing this show. I know we got a big day tomorrow.
Yeah,
but
calm before the storm.
Yeah, this is gonna be really crazy. I feel like it's gonna be life before PAX Unplugged and life after PAX Unplugged. They're gonna be two very different things. Because for the last few years, I've been meeting all these people online, and now I get to meet them in person. So it's like we're all taking our relationship to a new level. You know what I mean? So it's a big commitment that we're making by going to PAX.
It's when you figure out, it's when you figure out like these boxes are not a good gauge of how tall. It's like,
oh my god, I know. I've been thinking about that so much. Like, how tall is everybody?
Because I'm small. I'm fairly small, so it's like this is.
Simon, no, we're getting married, but let's face it, we're traveling quite a distance. We're getting together, so. And who knows what's going to happen?
A plural marriage, yes.
I'm envisioning. All right, it's either going to be like The Hangover, or it's going to be like the most awkward, sweaty.
It really depends on how I feel on the day, how I'm gonna be. So
yeah,
we'll see.
Because I'm coming in hot on that thing. Like it's no, because it's like I get there on Saturday because it's like, and then it's hit the ground on like errands and like running around different things. So it's gonna be like it's gonna be my most like kind of like as like frazzled day as possible. I say.
I'll be happy just to get there because I get lost
Sure.
everywhere. So
Same.
just me
Yeah.
getting from one train to another, and then from the train station to the convention center, and then getting my ticket, and then getting to my hotel room. That's like 5 adventures for me. That's gonna be
First time I've ever
insane.
been on vacation on my own. So
Oh, wow.
yeah,
Cool.
same.
This is the
Cool.
first PAX that I haven't gone in like costume or anything like that. So this is just first not being strict on one of these things.
So, you guys got anything you want to plug or anything like that before we wrap it up?
You want to go first still?
I don't think I have anything to plug this week.
Oh.
Although I will say, next Saturday, we're doing more Waterdeep Dragon Heist on this channel, if you want to come watch. We actually just got through Growlhund Villa ourselves, and it was not good at all. But hey, we're alive, so come watch us start chapter 4, I guess.
Sean, you got any?
All right, I got a few things. There's a few things that came up. So at PAX, I'll be at PAX. So most will be at PAX. So Hell's Rebels will be off this week, but next week we should be doing it. At PAX, I'm on a panel Saturday, 7:30 p.m. Historical and visual transgender representation RPG at the Leviathan Theater. Be awesome. And then as far as the games, tomorrow is the first episode of Little Red Dot's Wish Goal Adventure short series, 4 episodes tomorrow at Little Red Dot's channel at 7 o'clock Eastern time. And then on Monday, I'm on a new show for the Greyhawk channel, Liberation of Joff,
really?
Fighting Giants
Hey!
at 8:30 p.m. So
the Liberation of Joff, the 2nd edition thing.
Yeah, so
cool.
Coming in, this next 4 days are going to be a thing. So
wait a minute. Tomorrow night you're doing a streamed show?
Yep, that's why I'm coming in on PAX on Saturday.
Oh, okay. All right.
So it's going to be new show, PAX, new show.
And wait, the show tomorrow night, where is that? What channel is that on?
Little Red Dot.
Little Red Dot. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Dice and Dinosaurs. Thank you. It was a great show. Really glad. Oh, cool. Thank you very much, Dice. Yeah, thank you very much for all your everybody in the chat.
Yes,
thank you all for the comments.
Yeah,
and thanks. And anybody, if you see us at PAX Unplugged, feel free to say hi. And you'll get the next time we do one of these Waffle Talks, you'll see the results of our meeting. Everything will be different.
And
so,
if any of us
scars on our faces,
we might all have a Waffle Talk tattoo. Sima, as far as merch goes, my plan is I want to walk around and get free stuff. Whoever's giving out free stuff, I'm going to get it, and I'm going to keep it.
That's at that D&D booth, there might be some stuff.
I don't care what it is. I'm just going to have it. That's it.
I'm going to do some horrible damage in that dealer's room. It's like all dice.
I don't want to play. I don't want to play D&D. I just want to walk around and get free stuff. I think.
I'm not bringing dice because I know myself too well.
Really?
Just buy some.
It's fair.
Okay. So, all right, let's see if this thing will work. Probably not, right? So, thank you everybody for watching. I'm not sure. I guess we might do a special show next week. I don't know.
We'll see.
To talk about tomorrow's show. I don't know. I would love to do, if we could all do a Waffle Talk together. I don't think we'll be able to do that, but if I can figure out a way to do it, that would be cool. Or we're, like during the Hangover flashback when we're partying, and like all messed up, and there's like a tiger and
oh no,
there's definitely gonna be a tiger
beholder or whatever, and yeah, and so maybe we could do that. I doubt it, but we'll see what we can do. And yeah, so thanks everybody for watching. I'm gonna hit the button. See you next time.
Bye.
Bye.